Leeds United, the league champions. After that terrific tussle with Manchester United, whom they pipped by 4 points, and coincidentally, 4 points was the tally that Leeds took from their 2 First Division games with Liverpool. A goalless draw at Anfield in April, and a 1-0 win at Ellen Road to Leeds. That was back in September last year. Well, there is something of a party atmosphere here, particularly, I think, from the Leeds supporters. They've waited a long time to be in a position to cheer their team out here, and they've certainly not gone absent. Holidays postponed, I'm sure, and arranged around this fixture. For the Liverpool supporters, and indeed for the players, and maybe even for the manager, it's a case of, well, we're back here again, we know what we have to do. It's always a difficult fixture to define, the Charity Shield. Technically, it remains part of the pre-season build-up. Howard Wilkinson even referred to it as a training game this week. But Wembley does weave its own spell. No one comes here to lose, and you try telling the 2 sets of fans that this is not too serious. Incidentally, the 2 sides do meet again next Tuesday at Ellen Road, a testimonial match for Jim Beglin, the Republic of Ireland international, who served both clubs until injury cut short his career. And that is an evening which deserves plenty of support. Gary McAllister is the captain of Leeds today. Gordon Strachan is a substitute. Strachan, of course, who's had back surgery in the summer. But what contrasting experiences for the 2 captains in the European Championship in the summer. Gary McAllister was a star for Scotland, and I do detect an extra confidence in his whole manner as he's come back from that competition. And Mark Wright, who leads Liverpool, that Achilles tendon injury in June came as such a shock to England. Since collecting the FA Cup here for Liverpool, he really has found himself in the headlines more for his absences than for his undoubted ability. Dr. Tony Portnow, the sponsor's guest of honour, at the head of the dignitaries being presented to the 2 teams. It's a difficult match to draw conclusions from, but this, Andy Gray, will be competitive.
There's no doubt. Leeds and Liverpool can't play each other, Martin, without being competitive. It's hard to draw conclusions, yes, because there are so many quality players that they're missing from both sides. And Howard Wilkinson and Graham Souness can say, but they're not quite at full strength. But they'll both want to win the game. When you come to the Charity Shield, you don't want to lose a big game like this the week before the season starts. So both teams will be very conscious of that.
It's the national anthem next. Well, let's have a final check on the teams. Starting with the champions, Leeds have expanded their squad, but today's side is very much along the lines of that which finished the championship season with such a flourish. John Newsom looking a reliable replacement at right back for the injured Mel Sterland. Eric Cantona entered more often from the bench, but he starts today alongside Lee Chapman and Rod Wallace in attack. One particularly unlucky player, Steve Hodge, who has been outstanding in the other warm-up games for Leeds. Well, Liverpool's list of injuries was well documented last season, and it needs mentioning, unfortunately, again. Headed by John Barnes, of course, Mulby, McManaman, Thomas, Redknapp, and Rob Jones is ill. And on Tuesday at Tranmere, Steve Nicol was flattened by a foul, and he misses out on the Charity Shield for the 6th time in his Liverpool career. Bruce Grobbelaar keeps David James on the sidelines, and there is a place in midfield for Paul Stewart.
And today, a crucial battle today could well be how Dean Saunders and Tony Dorigo shape up against each other. This will be a battle of pace. Two players tremendously quick, and a big thing on Dean Saunders' shoulders will be, can he stop Tony Dorigo foraging forward? Liverpool without a natural right back in the side. That'll be a big question. Who will come out on top?
Well, Bruce Grobbelaar is a man with a problem. He's playing to retain his Liverpool place, but he's just been chosen after a long absence by Zimbabwe to play in an international a week tomorrow. And David James, of course, waiting for an opportunity. And Liverpool have said to Bruce, it's up to you whether you go or not. And, of course, if he does go, and under a FIFA regulation, really, he should go, then David James would get a chance, and of course that's all you ask for at this level. And if he plays well in that match, which you'll see live on Sky Sports, of course, a week on Sunday at Nottingham Forest, Bruce hasn't made up his mind yet, and I don't envy him the decision.
No, it's a real dilemma for him.
John Lukic, Mr. Consistency, is in the Leeds United goal as usual. The backup for him is Mervyn Day, the old Silver Fox, they call him, at Leeds. He played in the Charity Shield back in 1975 for West Ham.
He looks younger now, Mervyn, than he did back in 75.
Paul Stewart in Liverpool red. A fee of just over £2 million. Eric Cantona, who's the cult figure with the Leeds fans. Ooh-ah, Cantona is the chant that you hear so often at Ellen Road. And I think it's something of a surprise. David Elleray, by the way, the referee, who deals with discipline on a daily basis as the housemaster at Harrow School. A little bit of surprise in the Leeds ranks that both Chapman and Cantona are in from the outset here. They played in Norway on Wednesday, and Chapman only came into the game late on. Here's Saunders, wide on the right for the FA Cup holders. A little flick from Stewart. McAllister with Batty alongside him. Burrows making the challenge to force Batty to release the ball, really. And Leeds have the throw. You certainly sense they have the greater share of the support here, but what part of the match will they be able to dictate?
We're lucky also today, Martin, and we have probably two of the most vocal sets of supporters in English football today, and they really are making themselves heard. The game has started really at quite a fierce pace for a Charity Shield, but the teams have lined up as we thought. There are no major surprises early on in the game.
Well, such a significant season ahead. The Premier League should be a rich opportunity for the big clubs to raise the standards on and off the pitch. A bit of pushing by Ronnie Rosenthal, whose opportunities have been limited since Graham Souness took over at the helm of Liverpool, but he, like a number of Liverpool players, have caught the eye in the preparation matches. Chapman. Here's McAllister. Cantona is in the middle. Chapman is there, of course. Gary Speed, who's so good in the air, making his move and trying to test out this Liverpool defence without what we would call recognised fullbacks. Three defenders in a line across the pitch, Burrows and Tanner either side of right.
But that little example there, that to me is Leeds' strength. They get the ball wide to full-backs and the wide people, and they put great crosses in.
Well, didn't tell us offside in the end. Just before that, we saw the telescopic talent of Chris White, who may not be the quickest central defender at this level, but he's got great capacity to improvise with those long legs of his.
Yeah, Chris is one of these. I don't think can believe what's happened to him, Martin, over the last few years. I was actually at West Brom when Ron Atkinson brought him back from virtually hibernation. His career was going nowhere. Brought him back for about something like 25,000, and look where his career's gone there. It's quite amazing.
McAllister. There's Chapman. Here's John Newsom with Batty beavering away outside him. Newsom perhaps didn't see him. And there's plenty of hurly-burly already about the midfield. Oh, White was pressed by Rush and the ball forward wasn't very convincing.
But there's an example. The little bit there with Chris White pressurised by Ian Rush. Normally, he would have just turned round, looked for John Lukic and knocked it back. He knew he couldn't, so there's immediate, not panic, but there was uncertainty there. And that's what forwards are going to do this season, Martin. They're going to pressurise defenders who have got the ball, because they know they can't go back to the goalkeeper and will be looking for mistakes.
John Newsom here actually missed Leeds' midweek trip to Norway with a calf injury and then came down under his own steam to link up with the players that they're based in the home counties. There was a slight risk about him starting the game, but Mel Sterling still on the longer-term casualty roster. So Howard Wilkinson will be wondering here just whether this is an early bump or a recurrence of the problem that Newsom had after the Makita tournament last weekend. Gordon Strachan would have loved to have started. He was telling me in the tunnel that he feels fit enough to play the whole game, but it wasn't a feeling shared by the manager.
He's far more important to them next Saturday, Martin. Far more important. And I think Howard Wilkinson's smart enough to know that.
David Rocastle, of course, also on the bench, and Steve Hodge. Competition for places hotting up at Elland Road. It wasn't always that way last season when their team selections were quite predictable. But now I can tell you that even the players are playing guessing games about how the season will start in the Premier League. What 11 will be the chosen 11. There's the back pass, but Lukic has to clear, can't pick it up. Came to him from Batty. John Lukic is the most phlegmatic of characters, but you do sense that goalkeepers are put upon as a breed. Whenever the laws are changed, it seems to affect them.
I think we're going to have some fun with this new rule this season, I really do.
But of course, Bruce Grobbelaar's played like that all his life, so...
I know. They changed the rule and Bruce woke up the next morning and said, well, what's happened? Nothing's changed.
Here's Batty, doing well. Chapman will reach it. He glanced it goalwards. Without eyes in the back of his head, he couldn't have realised perhaps where Gary Speed was behind him.
And that's the problem that Liverpool have with this formation, is no full-backs, Martin, no cover. If someone's prepared to get in behind Lee Chapman, as Gary Speed did then, they could get all sorts of joy from crosses. But I just wonder if Gary Speed called for Lee Chapman just to leave the ball.
I just wonder whether you would have left it in that situation, Andy.
I think if you get the call, you leave it, Martin. Unless you're 100% sure you're going to make good contact.
Marsh, now Saunders. Well, it's spun away from Batty and nearly allowed Mike Marsh a touch of the ball in a position which might have been dangerous to Leeds United. Well, Graham Souness and Howard Wilkinson working towards flexibility in their formations. It was a word often used by Graham Taylor prior to the European Championships. I'm sure from the coach's point of view it's very important to have a wide range of approaches, but you just wonder at times whether the players, or some players who are creatures of habit, can cope easily with the continual changing in the demands placed upon them. We shall see.
I often wonder what happened to the old way of thinking, Martin. You picked your 11 best players, you put them out on the pitch, and you said, go cause the other team problems.
Here's Cantona, who played at Wembley with France back in February when he played against Mark Wright. But France lost that evening and haven't won an international since. And we think England have problems. Tanner, little helping header from Ronnie Whelan. Good to see him back in full fitness. Wallace is straight infield. We must, of course, mention that Liverpool have sold Ray Houghton and Barry Venison as well, so it's another reason why perhaps Saunders is operating wide on the right-hand side. Very different to his role last season. Here's Rosenthal. And Stewart was trying to supply the width right on that left touchline. It didn't quite come off for Liverpool. Rush. Walters wearing number 11. Newsom wanting one touch too many. Marsh, amazing family day for the Marsh clan. His older brother Tony played in one of the warm-up games here, representing a club from Kirby. Mike Marsh, who was brought in when Steve Nicol declared his lack of fitness for today. Otherwise, Nicol would have played at the back and David Burrows would have been one of the three in midfield. Goes back to the goalkeeper, but he can't pick it up because it was played with the feet, and there we have a talking point, because Lukic could only bang the ball out of play. Andy, I know you have strong views against this change.
I just think that is a perfect example of what people like myself, who have the views that we have regarding it. Is that making the game any better when you see the goalkeeper under pressure like that, just lumping the ball out of play? I don't think so, Martin.
Well, maybe he'll pass it better as the season goes on. Certainly it makes the defenders turn and use their skills. White couldn't knock it back then, or if he had done, he would have given Lukic another cause for concern. Dorigo. All credit to Dean Saunders. He was in the hole on the right-hand side then to just make it awkward for Leeds to build up in a wide position and maybe exploit the lack of natural full-backs at the back for Liverpool.
Well, there's definite holes there, either flank for Leeds to exploit. If they could just switch the ball a little bit quicker, there are big holes there.
Well, we've had 10 minutes gone and so much to talk about. Well, for fiery characters, Paul Stewart and David Batty come high on the list. It's a free kick in Stewart's favour against Leeds. It was Gary Speed who was also moving in to support McAllister and Batty in the centre. Batty, I must say, just lets the controversies go on around him, keeps pretty composed himself. One thing about Paul Stewart is in his past that he grew up a fan of Manchester United, and he's played for Manchester City and Liverpool now, the two fiercest rivals to his boyhood favourites. Shows what a professional he must be. Stewart calling for it, but not getting there. It was Chapman who read it rather better behind him. Free kick to Leeds. Chapman moving across the edge of the penalty area. And getting away from Mark Wright. That's interesting. Wright is taking Cantona. And then a cut across. And Chapman couldn't get free.
What Mark Wright's doing, and doing very sensibly, Mark, is he's not picking up anyone. But because he's the main header, any free kicks or anything like that, he's decided, I'm attacking the ball.
He's also organising the line up towards the halfway line. That ensnared Rodney Wallace then. Well, Lee Chapman made a definite move initially to try and allow himself to be picked up by Burrows, who I think he would expect to beat in the air. But as Andy explained, Wright had the freedom to go across. Stewart. Marsh trying to slide into that channel. White saw him coming. Here's Wallace. The defender is Tanner. Leeds flooding into the centre. Out by Burrows. Chapman thought about hitting it first time, then thought better of it. And the layoff was too late. Torrigo coming in with Saunders. He's got the licence to do that.
I was just thinking as that ball was cleared there from the Liverpool defence, how Gary McAllister must have been wishing it had dropped just in front of him instead of Lee Chapman. Exactly from the area he would have thrived on.
The header was from Rosenthal and Fairclough. Speed under challenge from Stewart. Cantona with that flair and capacity for the surprising switch of direction. No offside, it was Whelan to Walters. Still Walters for Saunders. Well, one thing Dean Saunders might find to his advantage coming in from the right-hand side is that defenders might lose track of him, and that's what happened then.
Oh, this is brilliant play from Walters, though. How aware he was of Saunders' position, just to roll a lovely little ball to him, and he just choked his shot a little bit, hit it into the ground. But that is an advantage that Graham Souness has, playing him wide, and that being a natural striker, when the ball's on the left side, as it is with Mark Walters, then he will naturally be drawn into the penalty area.
Well, he picked up a couple of goals on Tuesday at Tranmere, and that 7-1 win, which I'm sure encouraged Graham Souness to put out this formation on a bigger stage here. And Rosenthal was also scorer at Prenton Park. This is Wallace. Cantona, out comes Grobbelaar. It needed to be a pass of rare precision to beat Grobbelaar's move off his line.
Oh, it's been a cracking start to the game, isn't it? 15 minutes and it hasn't really stopped for breath yet. Real credit to the both managers and players for coming out with such a positive attitude.
Well, it's level at 0-0 still, and it's level on the free kicks conceded. And I must say, the weather is of the sauna-like nature that they've been experiencing in Barcelona. It was quite cloudy and very humid this morning. The sun trying to break through now. Right above Chapman, a little help on from Whelan, but McAllister exploring the width on the right-hand side with Wallace. He's there as the general again, Gary McAllister. Cantona. Cantona has signed a 3-year contract. That was completed at the end of last season. A man who's found authority difficult to deal with in his own country seems to have settled in very well here. The only thing Leeds have got against him, really, is he's being now renowned for a lack of punctuality. Team meeting can't usually start until Eric shows up. And Howard Wilkinson, I understand, hasn't been altogether pleased about that.
Well, no doubt it'll be costing him, Martin, a few pennies every now and again then.
Maybe a few francs. Header out by Wright. Walters, encouraged by his run a moment or two ago. Stewart. Mark Walters, I'd like your view on him, Andy, really, because I remember seeing him play here as a schoolboy, I think back in 1979, and really seemed to have the world at his feet. And he has achieved quite a lot, but maybe some would feel not quite as much as you would have thought.
Oh, I feel very strong about that. He hasn't achieved what he should have done in the game, certainly up till now. He's got so much ability. His big failing has been his consistency to do it regularly, Martin, and that's cost him dearly at every club he's played at. But his ability is unquestioned, and if he can just become a bit more consistent, then the world is still at his feet.
It looks his sort of game, doesn't it? We've just seen Cantona indulging in a rapid interchange of passes at high skill. And Mark Walters, when it comes to technique, is blessed. His header, Rush pokes it on, and Ronnie Rosenthal is offside.
Well, it was close, but I think the officials spot on.
Linesman Alan Hill.
But what Leeds' two centre-backs, Chris White and Chris Fairclough, know is that they have a real battle on the hands. Ian Rush and Ronnie Rosenthal, two of the most mobile strikers around, rely on their ability to drag players around, and will do that for 90 minutes.
Whelan. Stewart. He's only got Rosenthal for help at the moment. Saunders now has arrived on the outside. Marsh has got into the middle. Rush just holding on the edge of the area and left a little flat-footed. Mark Walters actually way on the far side, was unmarked. Speed, and then there's a race on. Well, he's left it. I was going to say you fancy Wallace, but he left it to Cantona. Great block by Burrows. Gary Speed, a player of so many parts, starting it off in the centre. Rush. Here's Stewart. Well, Rush had got in behind Chris Fairclough, but the ball came far too late for him.
That was a brilliant piece of skill, though, from Gary Speed to open up Liverpool again there. Showed tremendous strength initially, and then great ability to slip a lovely ball through. But really, I mean, he's aware here. He sticks a great ball in behind the defenders, and they just actually get in each other's way. It's a case of after you. No one really took the responsibility to be definite about it, and the chance was lost.
Yes, Liverpool were very relieved that it just rolled beyond Rodney Wallace, because he might have taken some catching.
But I think we've seen already, Martin, in the first 20 minutes that if Graham Souness is going to adopt this type of play, that he has got to worry wide on both sides with people getting in behind them.
Well, as you can see, we've had just over 20 minutes. And, oh, a mistake now by Fairclough, presenting the ball to Rush. Marsh, Rosenthal, they've still got the ball too. Walters. Oh, and Marsh! Saunders seemed to be moving in for a formality then, but Marsh, if he got a call, he didn't hear it. He must have felt he could have reached it himself. Leeds were lucky to get away with that. Now Saunders, ball at his feet, and a chance to take on White. Well, he didn't do more than make space for the shot.
Well, if this is a little sampler what's in store in next season's Premier League, I can't wait. This has been great stuff so far. But look, this is again, see the defender unsure what to do. Gives people like Ian Rush the opportunity to put them under pressure. And watch it when it comes to Mark Walters. This is the skill you talked about, Martin. Step over, picks a great cross out. Look at Dean Saunders. I don't think he's called for that. I really don't.
Here's Stewart. Rosenthal. Rush. Graham Souness has been telling us he wants to lower his profile. He doesn't want to say too much. He's certainly looking his old self and ready for the rigours of a season in which I'm sure he'll have to make his share of difficult managerial decisions.
What he hasn't lost, and I can guarantee that, is his desire to win. His hatred of losing. He is a winner, that man.
And yet, you know, when he was a player, when you socialised with him, he didn't want to talk about the game.
No.
Now he'll go off and watch Rochdale Reserves at the drop of a hat. No disrespect to Rochdale. I've seen him there many times. He's got a broad area to cover, David Burrows. Here's Batty. Speed. Tanner gets his goal kick. Mickey Tanner was one of a number of Liverpool players who responded so well to more regular calls into the senior side than he could have expected last season.
I think this is a little instant here. Obviously Gary Speakers in, they're really wholly committed, but that little instant will happen in the season, and what you'll find is that attackers won't tackle them because they know they can't use the goalkeeper. They'll say, well, you try and beat me.
In goes Rosenthal! Oh, wonderful stop by Lukic. What a terrific cross. Ronnie Rosenthal was allowed to line it up in looking at the goal and making his contact here, and then it was all John Lukic.
That's a brilliant instinctive save from John Lukic.
The header from Stewart. Oh, and it's misjudged by Batty, put in by Rush for the push.
Unlucky, Rushy.
Well worth trying.
Oh, yeah. You just see it here as it comes in. I think Paul Stewart gets the header in. And just watch as David Batty goes, there's a little hand in his back.
Yes, in any case, I think Mark Walters might have been in an offside position. Stewart. Cut out by Dorigo. Wallace. A lot of acceleration down the left-hand side for Leeds. Wallace past Tanner. Cantona! Got to it. His work in the air is one of his strengths. He's a big man.
I would suggest that that's not his strongest side, though. I would think that he's far happier the ball coming from the other side.
He's offside now.
But that's the trouble with it, that they have with Mark Wright. He's got to cover a whole vast area in there. And if he can't always do it, and if people like Chapman and Cantona get in between players, as they will do, it can cause him problems as it crosses delivery.
Batty now, he's got a defender to play it to, an outfield player. Last year that might have gone back to the goalkeeper. Batty, nicely measured. Wallace, the flag has stayed down. Rodney Wallace for Leeds. Cantona bangs it into the corner, and the champions are in front. Howard Wilkinson, who is a man who always weighs his words before he speaks, is in control of his emotions at seeing Leeds strike here.
It's the space again, isn't it? We spoke about that gap either side, and Rodney Wallace exploits it brilliantly. But look at this, he doesn't panic now, does he? Rolls it across, there you go, Eric. Smash a goal in at Wembley. This is quite an emphatic finish from the big Frenchman, isn't it? And really gives Bruce Gobler no chance.
Just in time as they converged on him, he pulled the trigger and hit his target. Whether it will be a killing blow, I would doubt. I would think Leeds would have to do more. Certainly when you heard the way the teams were going to be lined up here, 0-0 seemed the most unlikely outcome. And I would venture to suggest that 1-0 is an unlikely outcome. But Cantona has given us that scoreline. And that will be greeted rapturously by the Leeds fans, who love him. Now, is that dangerous play by Dorigo on Stewart? I'm sure it is. A foot raised. And Liverpool straight away have an opportunity to hit back, an indirect free kick.
And this is a chance for Liverpool to put into practice one or two things that no doubt they've worked on the training ground. There you see, David Ellery, exactly right.
Leeds have pulled everyone back. Now Lukic can surely not see too much. Burrows is there. If it goes to him, which it does, and it rather squirms off for a corner.
But that's what you've got to do in those areas. I mean, people will look and say, well, they didn't try anything different there. But they're only 16 yards from goal, Martin. Right in front of goal. You get a shot in if at all possible, and that's what they tried there.
Right coming from the edge of the area at the corner. Saunders again with the corner. And it came off Stewart's head rather to the detriment of his captain. Burrows. Rosenthal trying to stay onside, hasn't managed it. Well, he came as a controversial character from France, but as I say, he's a cult figure in England. Wallace and Cantona, and it hit David Burrows on the way through. But I rather fancy it would have gone in any case. Such was the power and such was the position that Cantona found himself in. Dorigo. Wallace. Cantona at the end of last season scored 3 times. Here's Rosenthal. He's round the goalkeeper, Lukic, forcing him into that decision, and it's ended as a corner. But there's no great certainty at the back for Leeds at the moment in defence of their lead. The thrust of Rosenthal then. Oh, and Lukic losing his footing as he moved back, was headed back by Tanner, on by right, and not quite goalwards by Rush.
The only surprise about this game is it's only 1-0.
Well,
the players really are getting really into each other and taking the game to each other. It's fabulous to see. This is Rush almost equalising. Matt Wright just knocks it back into the danger area. But Ian Rush a little too much on the header.
But prior to that, Ronnie Rosenthal opting to take the goalkeeper on with the ball at his feet. Speed from Cantona. Here's Wallace. Right doing the jockeying. And Burrows can't use the goalkeeper with any great degree of confidence there. Well, I still would start to take issue with you, Andy, about the merits of this change in the law of the back pass. We've had some moments of real excitement, which I think are down to it. It's obviously going to be a major area for debate as the season develops. Burrows. That's Marsh. One thing that has happened in the pre-season, Andy Dibble of Manchester City broke a leg in a challenge with a forward where he had to play the ball with his feet, and certainly one wouldn't want to see goalkeepers going down like 9 pins as forwards come in, because the goalkeeper now can't pick the ball up in certain circumstances. Bruce would have an answer, wouldn't he? That would preclude injury. But this is a superb game, being played with total commitment in terms of the skill on show. Maybe slightly less cynicism that we might see when there are league points at stake rather than a charity shield.
Yeah, but I look around this pitch and I see, particularly Gary Speed, who at the moment, for me, has set the tempo for Leeds. His tackling has been brilliant. He's been everywhere, all over the pitch, creating things, breaking things up. He's really given a very fine performance up to now.
And it's really Speed playing in midfield that's kept Steve Hodge out. And as I say, the Leeds players really feeling for Hodge, who's fully fit again and raring to go and has done so well in the earlier games. Here's Walters. Newsom can't cope, but Speed can partially. Stewart, it was deflected, it will be a corner.
But once again, the tantalising skills of Matt Walters here. John Newsom really is in for a torrid time this afternoon if Liverpool can get the ball to him. Look at that, another quality cross, but who is it at the back post? Saving Leeds again, Gary Speed, and he blocks the shot. That's great play.
Chapman led the move out from Leeds, but they didn't clear the ball decisively. Tanner's cross. Lukic has gone all the way. That's a corner conceded by Newsom. John Lukic, who played against Liverpool in the 1989 Charity Shield for Arsenal. He was a loser that day. Well, on the corners, they're all happening at one end. Rosenthal. Batty had to be careful. It's a great ball by Rosenthal. Rush! 1-1. It seemed to be just a matter of time. And Ian Rush, who was saying before the game he felt in a hot streak already. And he scored here in FA Cups, in League Cups, and Charity Shields in the past, for Wales as well. It's his second home, and he's done it for Liverpool here, 1-1.
It had to come, it really did. Rush takes up a great position, but he owes an awful lot to Ronnie Rosenthal. Produces a great piece of skill, a great cross, but you can't give Ian Rush that type of space and expect him to miss.
I think the record books will show that that's Ian Rush's 10th goal at Wembley for Liverpool. Amazing.
Nothing better for a striker, honestly, Martin. Charity Shield day than to get off the mark. There really isn't. They'll have scored goals pre-season games, but this is the first big competitive game. You get off the mark on that, really makes you feel good.
Batty. Nicely played by Liverpool. He's certainly earned the right to draw level from a succession of corners. Saunders. Tanner venturing forth. Marsh, good appreciation of the game again, and they want Walters to have it all the time. All except for John Newsom, that is. He's going to regard that as something of a triumph. He's blocked the cross.
What they've got to do, though, Leeds, if the ball goes to Matt Walters, they're leaving John Newsom basically on his own, Matt. They have to double bank on him. They need to get somebody like David Batty, one of the midfield players. He's got to go over and help him.
Lukic hesitated. Chapman, who you might have noticed was closest to Rush when he scored, but was the wrong side of him. Helped with defending then. Cantona, whose lead has been wiped out. Waiting for Torrigo. Here he is. He looks for speed, finds him. Torrigo again. Came off Burrows, speed in there. Torrigo. And it's hit by Wallace within the reach of Grobbelaar. Concerted attack by Leeds, but only for a moment.
This is a great game, Mark, honestly. That's a fabulous run, wasn't it? That's what I was talking about earlier, what Dean Saunders has got the job of trying to stop. Tony Dorigo wants to get forward, wants to get in there, create things, and he showed magnificent composure in picking out Gary Speed. Liverpool really did live dangerously there. But that's for Dean Saunders today. It's all about not only going forward, it's about tracking back as well.
At the moment, Mike Marsh is in trouble. Phil Horsma, who scored in the Charity Shield here in 74 between these two clubs. Well, David Livingston is down on the benches, representing Sky Sports. David,
Martin,
first word from you.
Martin, unbelievable heat down here. You can see the refreshments being given out there by Graham Souness. It's quite clear, and it has been clear from the start of the game, about the importance of the Mark Walters role in this Liverpool playing system. He's been having a lot of attention from the bench, and it's crucial that he goes wide. They're telling him to stay wide on the line, and he's giving young Newsom an absolute torrid time. And it's noticeable that the encouragement from the Leeds substitutes is for young John Newsom to really push himself and pull out that extra, even though this strength-sapping heat seems to be affecting him.
Thank you, David. That's very much in keeping with what Andy's been saying, and of course for Mark Walters, what an opportunity this season. In and out last season with injury, but John Barnes out of the way is an immediate opponent for him. Here's Marsh, just back from the magic sponge, so to speak. And Leeds living very dangerously in defence. Chapman. Batty. Here's McAllister. Cantona, the showman at the showpiece. Rosenthal adding to the cosmopolitan nature of the occasion. And it goes to the feet of Walters. This time the first man to confront him is Wallace. Rush. Oh, and the White puts it out for a corner. I suppose you could say he could have rolled it back for Lukic just to boot it away. But it was a decision that had to be made in a fraction of a second. Andy Gray frowns again.
I enjoyed that bit.
Another Liverpool corner. Well, maybe another Liverpool goal. Tanner. Well, one phrase I vow not to use this season is he'll be disappointed with that. If you know what I mean, it's said, and I hope it won't be said again.
You might find me using it once or twice.
It's on the banned list with break the deadlock. Cantona's header. Oh, Batty went for everything, and he's got the free kick as well. Just under 5 minutes to go to half-time. The players will want the break, but
we won't.
No, absolutely.
I think this is one of those games that you don't want half-time to come, do you, if you're watching it. It's been quite breathtaking.
And Speed again. Well, where will he play in Howard Wilkinson through the season? We've seen him in the Makita tournament playing as a free man at the back. He could go to right back if they feel it's too much for John Newsom, and Steve Hodge could come on the left of midfield. Howard Wilkinson has this at his fingertips, the decision to make, and Gary Speed is the floater, really.
But what he's got in Gary Speed, and I heard him interviewed a couple of days ago, is he's got a young lad there who wants to play for Leeds United, and he doesn't care where he's picked to play. And if you've got that in someone, then you really have got a bonus.
And Speed is there again. You'd hardly credit it. This is his first game at Wembley, as it is for a number of the Leeds players: McAllister, Wallace, Chris White. Batty, of course, has been here for England. Newsom, another newcomer. That's a foul by Wright on Wallace.
It's a bit unlucky, I think, Martin. Mark right there. Great little take from Rodney Wallace. So good skill, but I think just stumbled over Mark Wright rather than being brought down with him. So he takes it there. I don't think Mark Wright actually tackles. It's just that it's more a stumble. A little bit unlucky, but could be costly.
Well, there haven't been too many free kicks, certainly not of a sinister nature, but there's been really a surplus, if that's the right word, of fine football. It's far more than we had any right to expect. Smashing match. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Leeds looking to try and regain their advantage here. It's Dorigo, and that was deflected again. Oh! Twice the ball has flown off a Liverpool defender and past Grobbelaar. But undoubtedly it will go down to Tony Dorigo.
Well, Bruce isn't enjoying the best of luck, is he, in between the sticks for Liverpool today. 2 goals, 2 deflections. But this again, straight out the training ground. Good movement, good little play. And what he does, he strikes it very well. But there's nothing off the back, I think, of Ronnie Rosenthal. Nothing Bruce can do about that.
Yes, Rosenthal left on the end of the wall. Well, they say don't turn your back. It's not exactly a new experience for Tony Dorigo. I don't want to burden you with readings from the history books, but he scored here for Chelsea the winning goal in the ZDS final against Middlesbrough, I think it was, a couple of years ago. That was from a free kick, and it's from a free kick here. But Leeds United now lead Liverpool by 2 goals to 1.
I just wonder, as we approach half-time, will Graham Souness or Howard Wilkinson do anything to change it? You know, will little Gordon Strachan come on for the second half to give him 45 minutes? You know, will Graham Souness revert back to a back 4, or will it stay the same? It'll be fascinating to see what's in store in the second half.
Rosenthal pursuing, and, well, I must say I thought that was a corner. The linesman much closer to it, and the referee David Elleray reacted to advice from his assistant. We talk about goalkeepers having a difficult time with this back pass rule. A word of sympathy for the referees as well. How vigilant they have to be. David Elleray is one of the best. Saunders. Batty stepping in. But I cannot believe it will get any more serious for David Batty once they play under the Premier League banner. But I must say, what an appetite wetter it's been for what we'll bring you on Sky Sports. The only place you'll see live Premier League football. Batty, and this time maybe feeling the heat. Wallace and Speed were somewhat flat-footed. White. Out-manoeuvring Rush, he will have enjoyed that. Any more superlatives, Andy, before half-time?
I'm running out, Mark. All I can say is I hope the second half is half as good, because if it is, we'll be in for another treat. But the players will get tired, and there will be changes, and it may upset the rhythm of the game a little bit. But I think what we'll see is we'll still see plenty of skill on show second half.
Strachan, Rocastle and Hodge amongst the lead substitutes, so plenty of talent there. Dorigo. Speed. Well, Tanner made sure that the cross was going to be difficult, and in the end it was beyond Gary Speed. But it's the last touch of a really terrific first half. The scoring went like this: Eric Cantona for Leeds. Ian Rush with his customary Wembley goal for Liverpool. And just when Liverpool were really in the driving seat, Tony Dorigo via the back of Ronnie Rosenthal, 2-1 to Leeds. Leeds, of course, owe Liverpool a debt of gratitude for that win over Manchester United at the end of last season that confirmed the Championship trophy would go to Elland Road. For Bruce Grobbelaar, so many seasons have started with the Charity Shield. It's his 8th. But Howard Wilkinson has never before been involved as a manager of a team at Wembley. And his team lead at the start of the second half by 2-1. But it's by no means a position of real security. David Burrows looking for some movement at the throw. And a mistake by Fairclough. It's Rosenthal who leaves him on the ground. What will Rosenthal do? He's not quite sure himself. He finally gets a shot in, and I would think his ears might still be burning from possible criticism by Graham Souness for turning his back to Tony Dorigo's free kick just before half-time, trying to make a point here early in the second half.
Oh, definitely, and he gets himself into a wonderful position there. Probably the only thing wrong, he had too much time and he didn't make his mind up quick enough. Felt sure he was just going to pull the trigger and let go there, but he just delayed a little bit too long.
Here's Rosenthal again. David Batty and all his Leeds teammates well aware of the difficulties posed for them in the first half by Mark Walters. Action has to be taken. From Liverpool's point of view, there seems to be plenty of premium getting the ball to their left-hand side to the feet of Walters. But this time Newsom, with some help from McAllister, who approached Walters from the other side, Newsom came away with the ball. Didn't happen too often in the first half.
Did well there, young lad. I mean, that was his first real test second half. It was obviously, Graham Souness said to his players, get the ball to Mark Walters as often as possible. And I'm sure Howard Wilkinson said, hey, wait a minute, if that happens, the young lad needs some help. But no substitutions, obviously, at half-time, and no real change in the pattern the teams are playing. Pretty much as you were. Let's hope the entertainment is as higher quality.
Well, he just saw a situation when Bruce Grobbelaar could have picked the ball up from a long ball played over his back line, but chose not to. Walters. Rosenthal, who's handled that brilliantly to find Walters again. It was a very difficult pass to accomplish. John Newsom certainly showed his potential in the closing weeks of last season. Came up with a couple of goals for Leeds at crucial stages as well. Here's Tanner. Now Saunders. As White who stretched to intercept. Well, now what does Lukic do? Now that's what Andy Gray doesn't like, because that is hardly developing the skill of the game.
That an example there of Ian Rush, why his fellow players enjoy having him in his team. He must have chased for the centre of the penalty box, out to the left-back area to put Tony Dorigo under pressure.
Rosenthal. Saunders didn't quite take the ball with it. Dorigo has done no. Speed recognising the positional support he had to give, but Dorigo in fact went his own way. It has stayed in play thanks to the good offices of Nicky Tanner. And the outcome is Saunders through the centre, and Walters. Can Leeds shut the door on him this time? Well, only through the handling of the goalkeeper, which was admirable. Well, his team have played in a very attractive way, but they're 2-1 down.
They played very well, and certainly Matt Walters has been the focal point of most of their good attacks, and it looks as if he's starting that way. He looks very, very confident today, Mark.
Put out by Wright. Here's Newsom. McAllister opted to pass, actually, although he probably wasn't aware of it, had time to get into a position where he might have shown the power that he has in his shot. Steered wide by McAllister again, drilled across by Batty. Speed committed himself. Cantona trying to knock it back across the face of the goal. And thank goodness Gary Speed has that distinctive hairstyle, because he crops up everywhere and you could miss him. The markers are finding it hard to deal with him when he surges into the centre from midfield. A useful cross from Batty in the first place.
What he is as well, he's a real threat aerially, Martin. He's got this ability to climb very, very high, and Leeds use him often when he plays wide on the left as a tactic to play long free kicks to.
Well, White can head it back, and there's no suggestion of manufacturing that header. I say can head it back. The goalkeeper can pick the ball up from a header back. Natural header. That's another thing the referees have got to decide. No going down on one knee and kneeing the ball back to get round the law, as happened in the early weeks of the season in Germany. FIFA have acted quickly. There've been meetings over the past few days. The players at least know the theory. Offside.
Close, this one, but it's always the most difficult one to give when the player's right in front of the linesman.
Foul by Newsom. He was probably quite happy that Walters was going inside, but just mistimed the tackle. Lovely work by Saunders as a winger. And Newsom plays safe. Newsom is big for a right back. I think he believes his long-term future will be as a central defender. I think he'd like to be in the centre at the moment. Corner worked short by Liverpool. Whelan. Saunders working hard again, as he did so often last season, where his future was questioned on a regular basis. The ball's out of play. And I see even in today's papers there's been talk of Newcastle trying to stump up £2.5 million. No comments from Liverpool Football Club alongside those particular articles.
It'll be interesting to see if he stays at Liverpool exactly where Graham Souness will operate with him. I certainly don't think it's his most effective area wide right, and certainly Dean Saunders on song playing up front would be a far more worrying proposition if I was playing against him.
Barrow. prevent the cross coming in. White, not really balanced, cleared more with height than length. Well, they wear him out, Mark Walters, the amount of the ball that he's getting.
It's a pretty dominant stage of the game for Liverpool, to be fair. They're controlling most of it and have kept Leeds under pressure since the half.
Quickly released by Lukic. Gary Speed, who scored 10 times for Leeds last season. It's an excellent return from him. McAllister believes he should get more goals. McAllister again, but it's more often Speed rather than McAllister who moves in on crosses into the centre for Leeds. Throw to Leeds. Coming up to 10 minutes gone in the second half. Chapman for Cantona. An arm down by his side and some contact with the ball.
But a good little move that between the two big strikers there. Lovely little ball into Chapman, who holds off Mark Wright brilliantly with his weight and his body strength. And just look there, the left arm just controls the ball.
Liverpool still 2-1 down. Bob Paisley used to say, it doesn't really matter who wins the Charity Shield, it's being in it. Because to qualify for it, you either have to be champions or FA Cup winners. But having said that, Liverpool won more than they lost. And it's almost a ritual coming here for their supporters in August. 13 times in 19 Wembley Charity Shields. Walters trying to turn it back their way. And the deflection, that was headed back by Newsom. And again, not a particularly fabricated one. It was what you'd expected him to do in those circumstances last season. He could have chested it, and he could have thied it back, and it would have been all right. But if he'd put his boot to it, Lukic couldn't have picked the ball up. Down. It's batting. Chapman balked off the ball. Oh, well claimed by Grobbelaar. Question of judgment and technique, and he got it absolutely right.
And a good pair of hands. That was a super stop. Great ball across from David Batty. Drove it low and hard.
McAllister. Well, work for the goalkeepers again, which was the story of the first half. And still the 22 players involved who started the game. Rush has got in behind them, onside. Behind Saunders, Rush can line it up. Brilliant stop by Lukic coming off his line. Batty puts it behind for a corner.
Oh, that's a great stop, big man. But Ian Rush, I think, will feel he should have scored in that situation. Made the chance with a brilliant diagonal run. Watch that run. Diagonal across the defenders. That's natural to him. And when he got here, I thought, there's a goal coming up. Chooses to pass, and then it opens up for him. But watch Lukic spread his body. That's great goalkeeping.
John Lukic, who's been the epitome of consistency without really being rewarded with representative honours in that melee. The player who was hurt is Fairclough. Lukic is now going into yet another season where one would expect him to miss very few games. He's missed none in the league in the last 5 seasons for Arsenal and Leeds United, and of course twice been a goalkeeper in a championship winning side, in '89 with Arsenal and '92 with Leeds United. Alan Sutton, not too sure, the Leeds physio, how well Chris Fairclough is.
Well, the one thing they shouldn't do, and probably won't do anyway, is take any chances. If Chris Fairclough's got a doubt, they'll have him off pretty quick.
Coming up to 15 minutes played in the second half. Leeds, who led 2-1 at half-time, are still in that position. McAllister. Oh, and Grobbelaar, what's he going to do? He's caught the ball, and I do think maybe if that happened in a week's time, Lee Chapman would have gone in a bit more wholeheartedly. But it's led to Rosenthal racing away. Is this the equaliser for a second time for Rush? It's not. Oh, and it very nearly was for Saunders.
I don't think Liverpool can believe they're still getting beat 2-1 in this game. And I don't understand Ronnie Rosenthal in that situation. This is Saunders' shot. Look how close this is. Oh. They deserve better than that in the strike, but it was a first opportunity when Rosenthal and Rush broke free. It really was a golden opportunity squandered.
Well, prior to that, Lee Chapman went for a ball with Bruce Grobbelaar, and I think in the spirit of the day and the fact that we are technically pre-season, didn't go in a way that might have injured his opponent. Wallace, Cantona on the far post, and away goes behind Fontana.
That was a brilliant ball there from Gary Speed there that released Rod Wallace. Absolutely super, first time, struck brilliantly.
Let me remind you again that if it's level after 90 minutes, we will have penalties. Leeds can celebrate a corner. Speed got a flick, then right for Liverpool. We've left only Rosenthal upfield. And Batty would claim that that time he got the ball, but maybe on the late side. David Elleray was only a couple of yards away. Stewart. The early cross from Saunders. Now Burrows and Marsh. Walters. Drops the cross early. Speed got to it first of all. Rush was then facing the goal, and offside against Paul Stewart, coming back from an offside position. He wallops the ball home after the whistle has gone.
Not happy with the lines in at all, Paul Stewart.
Paul Stewart hasn't surrendered his striker's union card, I don't think, despite the fact his career has really taken off as he's been switched to a midfield player. But the way Liverpool are playing with basically 4 up doesn't give him much chance to get forward to look for a goal for himself. He's got to hold a little bit with Whelan and Marsh. Leeds are in behind them at the moment, and that's Batty's pass, and the flag is up. The Leeds roar was forming on the lips of those fans, you can see in our picture behind the linesman.
It's unlucky as well there, it really was. David Batty had just made a little mistake in delaying the pass too long, because Tony Dorigo was totally committed to his run. Had the pass been released a second earlier, no doubt he would have been onside. But Liverpool have just changed it slightly. They've now pushed Ronnie Rosenthal wide onto the right and have said to Dean Saunders, just you come infield, play up front, along with Ian Rush.
But wherever the ball is and whatever Liverpool seem to do, you'll find Gary Speed for Leeds United. Well, he is going to allow Tony Dorigo to take the throw. I know at international terms, Terry Yorath is thrilled with the opportunity of using him for Wales. Already got 14 caps, I think it is. Still only 22. Rosenthal letting the ball do the work. And because of that, he's got a corner. And it shows how quick Rosenthal is, that he made Dorigo really put his sprinter's shoes on. Liverpool way ahead on corners, 2-1 behind on goals. Spooned away by White. Batty there again. That's what he's caricatured as a ball winner, but there is more to his game than that. We've seen some good passes from him in this match alone. And his tenacity is too much for Walters. McAllister wants to play it long, and he needs the runners for that, and Wallace obliged. Speed's got up with him. Chapman is there. Advantage played by the referee. Wallace may have been fouled, and Wallace then just lost his concentration for a moment as Speed wanted to roll the ball back to him. That was a shame for Leeds. And indeed for the referee, who played a part in keeping that attack going. Walters. Here's Saunders. Walters lines up one for himself. Oh, and the deflection comes Saunders' way. It's a second equaliser this time, and the switch is paid off for Graham Souness. Saunders sent through the middle. And it's Liverpool 2, Leeds United 2.
What a pleasing time for a manager, isn't it? You make a tactical switch in a game, and it pays off almost immediately. But let's be honest, Liverpool have deserved a little bit of luck in this game. And they got it. A quite emphatic finish it was from Dean Saunders. Ball broke to him, kind bounce, and the Welshman didn't squander that chance. That was a great strike.
Here's Batty. Now Rosenthal, showing that his part in the change of position is working for the manager as well, and not the final ball. I think it's an appropriate time for Andy Gray to remind us what his scoreline tip was earlier in the afternoon. Some of our viewers might not have heard it.
Well, I was with Richard, and he said to me, what do you fancy today? And I said, well, to be honest, I feel there are goals here today. I felt both sides were capable of it, and I went for Liverpool to win 3-2, so I've still got a chance. The Leeds fans won't like that, I'm sorry. But it's been a fascinating and wonderfully entertaining game.
Here's McAllister. Cantona is offside. So, first of all, it was Ian Rush to make it 1-1. And then, with some very quick reactions to a ball that bounced off Chris White, Dean Saunders making it 2-2.
That looked an even better finish then, didn't it? An awkward bouncing ball, but he dealt with it quite brilliantly.
Marsh was very neat and tidy in his work. Here's Batty. Walters, Stewart, and Fairclough just got there for Leeds as Liverpool look to have a sharp edge to their attacking play again.
Ian Rush to me looks as if he's right back on song, man. That was another wonderful little diagonal run and a straight pass from Paul Stewart. He's now into the area where there's some tired legs around him on this Wembley surface on a real hot, humid day. And at the moment, Liverpool look like the team with their tails up.
John Lukic has asked for 5 in the wall. He's reasonably central. And Saunders, having found the range, is relishing an opportunity this time to clip it to Walters. Oh. Well, the subterfuge was there to try and catch Leeds on the wrong foot, as if Saunders was going to shoot.
Brilliant. I mean, he's used his head here, Dean Saunders. Mark Walters is spared at the back post, totally unmarked. I'm sure initially he wanted a shot, but using his head the way that he looked up, saw Mark Walters and dropped a beautiful pass onto his foot.
Well, Liverpool with the better array of shots on target. But Wallace, is it going to be 3-2 to Leeds? It came to Gary Speed very quickly off Grobbelaar, and significantly it came to Speed on his right foot, not his left. Well, there's too much action for analysis here. Saunders.
Oh, this is ridiculous, this game, isn't it? We have to apologise, we're not. Every incident it's been shown again and again. There's just so much happening.
Well, it's so difficult for players following up when the ball comes off the goalkeeper at pace, unless it comes right into your stride.
Yeah, Bruce does ever so well, doesn't he? Stands up, makes it difficult, but Gary Speed's unlucky. It just drops wide of him. But what do Liverpool do? They break away, great ball in. Dean Saunders chooses to hit it early and gets right underneath it.
Chapman. Good work by Burrows. He wants to get into the opposition's half. Hasn't had the opportunity to do that. The advantage played again as Stewart was fouled, and it's Burrows who shoots and, in a way, confuses Saunders, who confused him.
I think he was right to take it, I really do. Dean Saunders wanted it, but as you can see, he's coming to David Burrows' left foot. He's coming straight in and goal. And if Dean Saunders had only just checked his run and been more aware, then it wouldn't have upset David Burrows as much. But he looks happier up front, doesn't he, Dean Saunders? He's suddenly got an extra yard or two from somewhere.
But just when you're thinking that Leeds are lucky to be level, you have an incident like we had a moment or two ago when first Wallace and then Speed very nearly put them back in front. They are rightly regarded in the game, Leeds United, as a very fit club. And I think David Rocastle, and this is no criticism of Arsenal, but different methods, different managers, he's found it quite hard to do the work over the last few weeks. Cantona. Here's Speed, who certainly isn't struggling for fitness. Dorigo. Batty. Liverpool stretched. Wallace, Speed, Chapman, Cantona. Oh, missed it. Well, the footballing equivalent of the golfer's air shot from three players in the centre.
To be fair, I don't think it arrived at any of them just right either. If you watch it here, as it comes, Rod Wallace is the one who delivers it, and I think it's just ahead of Gary Speed. I don't think it's ever perfect for him. Just behind Lee Chapman and just ahead of Eric Cantona.
Eric had no chance. Well, Mike Marsh is going off, and Don Hutchison comes on. Hutchison from Hartlepool, who's been serving his time since his dream move to Anfield, and has impressed Graham Souness in the pre-season games, and was very close to being in the starting lineup here. But Mike Marsh, who had greater battle time last season, greater game time, really won the vote because of that. Hutchison at 6'2", actually played a few games in the lower divisions as a striker, but has been used by Liverpool in midfield. So here's the balance of power going to swing back the way of Leeds United. Very hard to tell, but they have the corner. Fairclough. Now Wallace. Dorigo's there if he wants him, which he does. Fairclough in again, well met by Wright for Liverpool. McAllister. Expect a good ball here. And it's just hit too long. Certainly played into an area where Leeds were getting numbers. Newsom. Well, Chapman's made an inventive run. And Grobbelaar, oh, he's lost out. Now what can Chapman do? He's done all he can, which is get the ball across. And Whelan was on his toes, as all the Liverpool outfield players always are, of course, when Grobbelaar comes out that way. But he's survived. Can Leeds do against Walters? Well, now it becomes a question of what will happen at the free kick. A free kick that Newsom believes shouldn't have been given.
Well, he's got a right to look disappointed, John Newsom. Mark Walters just lost his balance. I don't think Mark dived or anything like that. But what he did, he just lost his footing. And it's difficult from the angle. I mean, the referee doesn't have this angle. As you see it there, it's a little nudge, but Mark Walters just loses his footing.
Saunders drives it hard, but too high. Andy, there's a point I want to make about the Bruce Grobbelaar incident. Taking Bruce aside, is that goalkeepers will be sorted out as to whether they're right-footed or left-footed, because for a right-footed goalkeeper, this is a difficult situation. He's got to use his left foot, and Grobbelaar didn't really fancy that, and I think there'll be a number of goalkeepers who, rather than just waft with their weaker foot, well, they might make a mistake. It's an area to keep an eye on. Offside. We're into the last 15 minutes. It's been exceptional entertainment in the 1992 Charity Shield. And at 2-2, it's by no means over. Cantona. Grobbelaar, what's he done this time? He's hit it straight at Wallace. Well, even on his right foot, it wasn't the right answer. Foul on Batty by Stewart.
Oh, it wouldn't be a game if Bruce wasn't up to his tricks, would he, Martin? We know it's a Charity Shield, but that's taking it too far, I think, as far as Graham Souness would be concerned.
I think all the viewers will have understood that sequence of pictures. No words from us are required. Free kick to Leeds. Dorigo, one of their scorers, leaves it to McAllister. Cantona, good jump, excellent jump, good shot! What a shot! Grobbelaar couldn't have seen it.
Well, Brucey didn't see it, did he? And he's right, he was right at the whole heart of that move. Won the header and was bright enough to pick up the rebound. Watch this, quick ball into the area. Cantona's strong in the air. Shows it there, doesn't stand about, does it? Look at that. And that's a brilliant goal. That one didn't need deflecting.
Well, he had a miserable time here playing for France back in February. But it's fantastic for Eric Cantona. Now, can Leeds, having gone in front yet again, can they hold on? And Batty says it was outside.
Oh, that's a penalty. I'm sure it is.
First of all, the referee is going to take disciplinary action here and produce a card for Batty. It's a yellow one. Liverpool have got the ball and lined up on the edge of the area, so to their credit, Russia's having a look to examine the ground.
Looked a penalty to me, Mark, but
Well, let's analyse the free kick first of all. For a free kick, it most certainly is. Liverpool behind yet again. Whelan. And the header was by Fairclough. Leeds are trying to make a substitution. And now they have the opportunity to do that. Steve Hodge is going to get just over 10 minutes. Howard Wilkinson, I don't think, can make it quite clear as to who's coming off. He's indicating, first of all, to the linesman that it should have been an offside, but it's Chapman that's replaced. So Cantona and Wallace, one would assume, would play together up front, but at the moment Hodge has taken up a position there. Surely he'll find more familiar ground in midfield. But as I've been saying earlier, Steve Hodge has really been impressing the Leeds players with his work in the other pre-season games. They would pick him as their player of the pre-season. Howard Wilkinson didn't pick him to start today. Strachan, as a sentimental gesture, might be allowed to tread the Wembley turf.
He looks very casual about the whole thing, doesn't
he? Newsom offside. And in case you think Howard Wilkinson doesn't look like a sentimental man, on the last day of last season in the league, the championship already won, albeit Strachan was a substitute because of his back injury, but he was allowed to wear the number 7. And Cantona started the game wearing number 14. Not something you see very often in a league match, if ever. That was a kind thought by the manager. That's Hutchison trying to get in front of Fairclough. Now, we haven't cleared up whether it should have been a penalty or not. Andy Gray, I'll leave this to you.
Well, as I say, my initial reaction is it's a penalty. But as you see there, it does take place outside the box. And that's a great decision from the referee. We're always quick to criticise him when they make mistakes. That was a great decision.
First it was Cantona for Leeds, then Rush for Liverpool, then Dorigo for Leeds, Saunders for Liverpool. At 2-2, Cantona tilted it Leeds' way again. And Hodge didn't have to extend himself because the flag was up for offside. The head of Batty, still about 8 minutes to go for Liverpool to perhaps take it to a penalty shootout as it was back in '74. But Cantona is on a hat-trick. Is he going to get it? Burrows stopped him then, and Cantona looks for Wallace. McAllister trying to waltz through. Still Cantona is free to the left, and it's come to him, and well, maybe you have to have something of a Gallic feel to you to try and get a hat-trick that way.
Oh, he showed great skill, the typical of Eric Cantona. Not content to just blast it looking for his hat-trick, was he? He tried the most delicate of chips.
This is Stewart. Is it going to drop for him? And very effective clearance by Fairclough. Facing his own goal. Right, in fact, slap in the centre of the goal. Plenty to aim at, so to speak, or plenty to avoid.
Great run, super forceful run, but it was Gary Speed again who's tracked him all the way back and made life difficult for Stewart.
Liverpool want Istvan Kozma to come on for Ronnie Rosenthal. Kozma, the Hungarian who played for Hungary here against England, getting on for 2 years ago. Stewart was free. McAllister's header only to right. This is Walters, who's been such an important figure on the match and at least had a sight of goal to try and be a real influence on the scoreline.
Yeah, you can see exactly what he's doing.
Gordon Strachan, maybe her last chance at Wembley, who knows, at 35. He's defied those who wrote him off when he left Manchester United. And what an achievement it's been for Leeds, with Strachan leading them on the field to get out of the second division and to win the championship, get into the European Cup.
Yeah, there must have been anxious times for him, the wee man, this summer, Martin, when he's had his operations and everything. It's great to see him back playing and knowing that he's going to be there again at the forefront as Leeds try and defend their league title.
So what's happened here? It does look as though speed has gone to right back. Hutchison. Gary's speed is very left-footed, but he's played at right back before in the first division last season. Andy Gray and I have the chance to, or the opportunity to give you a man of the match, and certainly I will lean on Andy's expertise in particular, while I concentrate on the speed of the game. Speed, I wonder if that's a clue.
I think it may be. There's been some fine individual performances, to be fair.
And it's not over yet. Here's Cosma and Tony Dorigo, who was given a chance to play right back for England in the European Championships while we're on that subject of that position, and declined to come on as a substitute against France. Eric Cantona, was it? Here's Wallace. McAllister bringing Strachan into it. Can Leeds make sure here with the two substitutes trying to combine? Oh, it's stadium play off the corner flag. Alert work from Wallace, and Cantona has a hat-trick. Robillard missed the cross. In many ways, an extraordinary way to end an extraordinary afternoon.
Well, Bruce didn't enjoy the best a lot with the first two goals, did he, with deflections. But really, that one is down to his own doing. Basically, a bread and butter cross that come across from Rod Wallace. And he totally misjudges it. Ball doesn't go out, hits the corner flag, but they react quickly, don't they? Cantona pulls to the back stick. Bruce misses it. And that's it. And I was just about to say, if we judged the man of the match a little bit earlier, Martin, I would have thought Gary Speed. But when a man scores a hat-trick at Wembley, in my mind, there can only be one man of the match.
Yes, I would say game, set and man of the match. Eric Cantona. But Liverpool have played a full part in the proceedings here. Saunders. That's Stewart. The scoring may not be over. It's a corner.
It's a pity the game has to end, isn't it? But to be fair, if this is the type of attitude and style of play that these two teams are going to set in the Premier League, then I think we've all got to treat the store. Good, positive attacking football. It's been great to watch.
Lukic finding it hard to get through the pack. Strachan, and it's wriggled in. Mark right shot, and Gordon Strachan, guarding the post, could do nothing about it. He seemed to have taken the pace off it. And then it got stuck, first of all, under his feet, and then behind him.
Well, this is a weird set of circumstances, isn't it? You think Gordon does everything right. Good position, stops it, hits his other heel, and before he can do anything about it, it's in. Very unfortunate. Will you try taking this off Mark Wright?
Well,
thinks he does everything right, and that's unlucky.
And Liverpool are still in it. At 4-3. Saunders. Speeds header. Here's Burrows. The Leeds fans are urging David Ellery to bring it to a close.
I hope he doesn't hear them.
Well, we know Liverpool are the past masters at pulling it out of the fire in the closing minutes, but this is ridiculous. They've got another corner. Well, he must have thought, as his header went in, that it wasn't a case of man of the match, but winning the match. But it's still not certain as we move into stoppage time. Strachan is still on the post. This time he hopes his feet firmly rooted to the ground.
And his legs firmly closed.
Well, that statistic suggests that Leeds have done a smash and grab here. It hasn't been quite as simple as that. They've certainly taken their chances. Well, David Ellery will have taken account in terms of adding the time on here. Can Liverpool provide yet another astonishing moment to a game that we'll never forget? It was right going in. In truth, charity shields have always been a pleasant way to get going for the players, for the commentators as well. Very few of them live in the memory. The one between Leeds and Liverpool 18 years ago in 1974 does, for perhaps the wrong reasons, when Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner were sent off. There are very few goals usually. I think Liverpool 3, Arsenal 1 back in '79, when Graham Souness was a player. Gave the lie to that, but not many since then. But what a treat today for all concerned. And it is over. Officially, Leeds United, the league champions, have beaten Liverpool, the FA Cup holders, in the 1992 FA Charity Shield. But it's been much more than that. It's been a wonderful appetizer. And you don't see Liverpool smile too often when they lose, but Ronnie Moran showing the face of their contribution here. It's been spellbinding. Leeds were never behind, but they were never relaxed. Dorigo has a goal, but Cantona with 3, a clear man of the match. Rush, Saunders, and with Strachan's help, Mark Wright for Liverpool. And they've set some standards for Jim Beglin's match on Tuesday night. It's been a thriller minute. And my word, well, they have made us all glad to be back in business. Fans and broadcasters are like, well done the players. It's been a steamy afternoon in northwest London. The sort where you could forgive players for taking their feet off the accelerator as the match wore on. But for value for money, well, absolutely no complaints, Andy.
Oh, none at all. I just hope they haven't spoiled us for the season ahead. You're right. Congratulations to the players. They've performed there in a way that we all wanted to see it played the game. There was passion and commitment in this game. It wasn't a friendly, as we were led to believe. They all, players involved there, wanted to win it, but they played it with the right spirit. They were all positive. I don't think there was a negative moment in the whole game, and I think that's a credit to the managers as well. It's been super to watch. I think we've all enjoyed it, and we all can't wait for the season to begin properly.
Well, 3 months ago, Mark Wright went up to get the FA Cup, but he leads Liverpool here in the new way of things, really, in all the FA-controlled competitions. The losers go up first, and they go up to complete applause from foe as well as friend. There's the chairman, David Moores, shaking the hands of the Liverpool players. But Gary McAllister, who came out as captain, has very nicely indeed passed the honour to the club captain. He wants Gordon Strachan to go up to get the trophy. Strachan is hesitating, but not for long, I don't think. He's played a small part in this game, but this small man has played a huge part in the rebirth of Leeds United. On the field, they've got it right again. And along with that, off the field, remember, they were regarded as a problem club with a certain section of their supporters. But the image is so much brighter, and the trophies are shining brightly at Elland Road. Here's another one. Sir Bert Millichip waiting with the sponsors, guest of honour, Dr. Tony Portnow, to hand over the silverware to Leeds United. It's a big trophy, and it's just as well they've got 2 captains today to take the weight of it. But Liverpool, more than most, far more than most, know about the winning habit. When you look ahead to the season and Leeds United's task of trying to retain a championship, that's harder than winning it in the first place. Arsenal have shown that in their inability to do it, but they've come again the following year, and they'll come again this year, I'm sure, to make their challenge. You have to go back to the 50s to find a club other than Liverpool who have retained the league championship.
Well, I think that says everything about how difficult task Leeds have got ahead this season. But certainly today, and when you remember that they've got Vic Gordon-Strachan to call upon, David Rocastle, certainly Howard Wilkinson can take this side into next season.
And what about this
season? Oh yeah, already a folk hero, but after a hat-trick today, he could probably own Leeds by tonight.
Howard Wilkinson is a man who weighs everything up very carefully. I can tell you that his players haven't got a clue which team will start next Saturday at home